I was using my water trailer on a piece of property near where I live last week. The property owner came out and was asking me a lot of questions about it. I believe I've got this on another video. And basically what he wanted to know is how could he get one, or could he buy this one? This one's not for sale. I told him that I'd need a good truck bed with chassis or frame rails, and he said he had access to one, so he proposed to supply all the material, and I would do all the labor. And this is the donor truck he came up with. 1981 Dodge half-ton with a 318 V8. Does not run. I don't even I think the engine's froze up. It doesn't matter. Gonna scrap everything. Cab, transmission, engine, everything. Gonna pull it all out of here. And what we're interested in is this bed, which is going to become his water trailer. And it's not in bad shape. No rust, no Bondo, some dents, doesn't matter. I'm going to be building a custom leaf spring pack for this too. So I've got to go to the junkyard, find a similar truck, and get a set of leaf springs out of it. We're going to build up a pack. So some of the things that are handy when doing a project like this is to have a lift. So you're not on your back doing all this stuff in the dirt or even on concrete. And oxygen acetylene system for cutting brackets and things. Sawzall exhaust system. Got to get that out of the way first. I hate working around the exhaust system. The grill on this truck's really nice. Probably keep that. Front bumper's not in bad shape. Few scratches, but it's not bent up or anything. Actually, the truck's not in that bad a shape considering it's an 81, and it's been off the road since about 2001. So what I've got to do is drain all the fluids, including power steering, oil, transmission, brake fluid, and disconnect the steering column or the steering shaft and the automatic transmission lever and assembly that goes to the transmission, some wiring, and then there's 6 bolts that hold the cab down. I'm going to unbolt it and use this car hoist to lift the cab off, roll the chassis out from under it, and then it's a lot easier to pull the engine and transmission and drivetrain out of it. Okay, I have all the body mounts loose, hoses, cables, brake lines, automatic transmission linkage, wiring harness, everything I could think of, completely disconnected. This cab is loose and ready to come off of here. I'm going to set this on a tripod as I lift it, and I will stop every little bit and look to make sure that I'm not catching on something, or there isn't something that I forgot, because as many times as I've done this, there's always something that I forgot. So here we go. All right, that's it. It's up, it's off. And I did not forget anything. I forgot to mention the fuel lines. A wire did hang up on the back of the distributor here. Got caught, so I just had to reach in and unhook it, and then it came right up. So that's a first. Usually I always forget something. That's good. Maybe I'm getting better, or I'm getting luckier. Anyway, now I just need to roll the chassis out from underneath the cab. I can set the cab down and work on getting it out of my shop. Got the cab out of the shop, brought the drivetrain and chassis back in. Going to take apart the cab and cut it up and scrap it. I've taken all the hoses, belts, vacuum lines, plastic, anything that the recycling center doesn't want to see come in on an engine and transmission. And this is the bulk of what I took off the engine and transmission. Now I'm going to pull the engine and transmission out, set them aside, and get started on removing the front suspension. Now I've got the chassis and bed back in the shop with the engine, transmission, and drive shaft removed. I'm ready to remove the front suspension and the fuel tank. So now I'm down to just the bed, the axle, and the frame. And in part 2, I am going to show how I go about making this into a trailer tongue, and how I reinforce the rear leaf springs by building a new leaf spring pack so that it can hold. The owner hasn't decided whether he wants to go 3 or 500 gallon tank. Either way, it's going to need more spring, and so that'll be covered in part 2.